What does it mean to win the money game? Winning doesn't just mean having money, it means being free from financial constraints. It's when you never have to hold back from buying something you need or restrain from doing something you enjoy because of financial limitations. Now, think about it. If you are consistently avoiding things you'd love to do because of money, you haven't won the money game yet. Remember in my last video, we talked about the need to work with the laws of money in order to win this game. But here's the thing. Not only is it necessary to understand these laws, as we say, the law to earn, spending, saving, and investment, but it's equally important to address the psychological aspect. I call these psychological aspects the psychological heavyweights. You know, the Bible even says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So yes, the laws of money are powerful, but they are only contributing factors. They are from outside. The real determining factors to winning the game of money are those internal. We are talking about the psychological barriers that can affect your ability to earn, to save, to spend, and to invest money. And this is what I want us to address in this video. So to understand these psychological blocks, let me share a personal story. Years ago, during my second visit to Nairobi, I was trying to find the way to Nairobi University. A local man offered to help and said he would show me the way. I followed him thinking he was genuine, but instead he led me to a spot where I was robbed, lost my phone, my money, everything I had on me. Afterwards, I found a police officer and he gave me a piece of advice that stuck with me till today. He said, the next time you're in Nairobi, I only ask someone in a uniform. Only ask someone in a security uniform. So that one bad experience was enough to plant a subconscious fear. From then on, I was more guarded, even cautious whenever I'm in unfamiliar places. And this is exactly how early beliefs around money works. They get embedded in your mind, affecting your choices, sometimes without you even realizing it. Now, here's another example in that line. Imagine that as a child, around 6 years old, you are sitting in an important gathering. I mean, you're all smartly dressed, and the preacher passionately says, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. As a kid, you don't have the maturity to question it. You just absorb it. So in your young mind, wealth could mean losing your chance at heaven. Later that day, you might even turn on the TV and see a huge camel and find a small needle in a drawer, reinforcing that image. Now, the preacher probably didn't explain that this eye of the needle was actually a narrow gate in ancient Jerusalem. Camels had to kneel and offload and unload their baggage to pass through it, especially when the gates are closed from 6 p.m., which according to Christ was a symbol of humility and detachment, not condemnation of wealth itself. Says the kingdom of heaven, if you're going to enter it, you need to have humility, but also you need to know in the kingdom of heaven, you don't own anything. The king owns everything. You are just there to be you're just steward. But if no one explained this context, you could carry the belief for decades and it would shape your relationship with money. So later in life, when you start making good money, you might feel guilty or even sabotage yourself because a part of you believes that wealth and integrity cannot coexist. This is how deeply our subconscious beliefs affect us. Our minds are powerful enough to create self-fulfilling prophecies. These beliefs have one purpose, to perpetuate themselves. And so our reality often reinforces these beliefs. So to truly win the game, the money game, it's not enough to simply follow the laws of money, the laws of wealth that we talked about. You need to wrestle with these psychological heavyweights, these inner enemies that creates emotional blocks around earning, around saving, and around investing. So we need to recognize and remove these emotional barriers that shape our decisions around money. For instance, there are popular beliefs that fuel these mental blocks. Let me go through them quickly. Belief number one, there are people who believe that to earn money, you need to work constantly. That's not true. You need to work intelligently. You don't need to say work constantly and work hard. No, you need to work intelligently. There's a story of a man who became wealthy at 65, and when asked why he didn't do it at 45 or 55, his answer blew my mind. He says, I was too busy working to make money. Sometimes we are so absorbed in daily tasks that we don't step back to see things strategically and plan on how we can win the game. So myth number two, quickly, that you can't earn money and have fun. Many people believe that work and enjoyment are separate, that weekends are for hobbies and weekdays are for income. But think about it. What if you turned your hobby into a profession? You'd never feel like you're working. You'd be doing what you love all the time and getting paid for. And I can guarantee what you consider as your hobby, somebody is doing it professionally. Myth number three is you can't make money in certain occupations. It's a big one. This is simply not true. I know poor doctors, I know rich doctors. I know poor artists, I know rich artists. I know poor lawyers, I know rich lawyers. Success isn't about the profession itself. It's about how you approach and execute it and how you handle money while you're in it. Some of the wealthiest people in the world didn't even finish school. It's not about credentials, but creativity, effort, and the right mindset. So if we are serious about winning the money game, it is time you as a person examine the beliefs you carry and realize that it's not just about external laws. You need to confront these psychological blocks and rewrite the narrative in your mind. You got to take work to write the narrative in your mind. Money is simply a tool. Remember that. It's as neutral as a knife. It can serve or it can harm, depending on how it's used. So when you master both the laws of wealth and your inner beliefs, you will unlock through financial freedom and live in alignment with your goals and with your values. So if this is something that you want to be able to see it become a reality in your life, I ask you to do two things. One is yes, comment, of course, subscribe. And the other thing, you really want to be able to comment a yes in the comment. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video.